Hello Aquarius, welcome to my channel, Sarah Angel Tarot. This is your reading. Remember, it may not resonate with everyone, be your story. But this may very well resonate. And if you get a positive reading, embrace it. If it's negative, change it, Because Tarot is here to help, not to hinder. So this is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, or whatever, if it's dominant in their chart. In other words, if you have more than one planet in Aquarius, it could be dominant for you, so this may resonate. Aquarius, full Celtic cross. The energy's coming in for the Aquarius signs. Let's see what we got. Incoming energy. But I look for a positive reading all the time. But sometimes, we got to be told certain things so we can change it. So life can be positive. So the incoming energy for Aquarius. Nine of Swords. You having a little anxiety, are you? Feeling a little, maybe staying up too late, or thinking about things when you're trying to go to sleep and can't sleep, possibly, or just plain out anxiety. It's a Nine of Swords. The subject at hand is the Knight of Rods. And the Knight of Rods is in reverse. And it can be a fire sign. It could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or someone just non-committal, someone who's short-tempered sometimes, someone just not feeling all that well. It also could be just dominating their chart, or they could just be acting like this, taking on that energy. What's crossing them is the Empress, growth, which, fulfillment, in other words. That's what's crossing them. They feel like they can't get it, or there's no growth, or you feel like there's no growth with them. What crowns you is the Queen of Pentacles. This could be a Capricorn, Taurus, or a Virgo. It also could be your goal, and maybe you're heading towards a type of earth sign, or someone who's practical, or someone who is stable. It doesn't have to be an earth sign. And Queen of Pentacles doesn't have to be, it could be either male or female, I should say. Foundation. Ten of Wands, feeling like you got to carry a burden, feeling like everything's weighing you down. In the past position, you had a Tower moment. And it may be like a Tower moment where something surprises you, shocks you. Something you weren't expecting. But it's considered in the past position as already happened. So something kind of went crashing down, in other words. Because if you see in the Tower, lightning's hitting it and it crumbles down or comes close to it. So something came crumbling down around you. And something you weren't expecting, because it's always something you're not expecting, by the way. In the near future, you may stop communications with somebody. It could have something to do with that Knight of Rods, and maybe you're going to head for something else because it's too much of a burden. Possible future outcome or advice from the universe is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. And that could mean so many things. Remember, this could be advice from the universe. It could mean, say, you need to put a stop to something or slow down. What is coming towards you is a emotional message, possibly. Something that has to do with, it can have to do with love or something of that nature, or something you love, But it also could be a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. It's considered the outside environment or what is coming towards you. Hopes and fears. You're afraid you'll get a grave injustice will be done to you. And we'll discuss that. That is only in your hopes and fears. It does not have to become a reality if you don't want it to. Outcome. Ooh, you got some gain coming. So whatever you're going for, or whatever happened in the past that was kind of negative, and you're going for something else, you think something is too much of a burden, and communications get stopped, whether you stop communications with somebody or they stop it with you. And it could be that you're the one short-tempered for very few of you, but, it could go back and forth. These readings can flip. But in the end, I see Aquarius gaining something. Gaining possibly independence or more finances, or going for gain. But we got to clarify. And remember, this can change the story up once I start clarifying with this deck. So let's get to it. Let's see what the story really is. It unravels in strange ways when you clarify. That's why I like clarifying, because I want to know more, don't you? But the Tower in the past, well, let's do the subject at hand. I'm getting too ahead of myself. So the Knight of Rods in reverse, and the Empress is crossing it. So apparently there's no growth here, possibly with a person or with an energy where someone's short-tempered and maybe non-committal. So the Empress, or the Knight of Rods, and the Empress that's crossing it, why are you there? For Aquarius, what's going on? Yeah, you're going to come out of disappointment. You're going to come out of disappointment, you know. You got to see the positives and not the negatives. I understand that something went you know, haywire and the Tower happened, but there are 2 full cups of opportunities for you still left. So, because with the 5 of Cups, you have 5 cups. And this is in reverse, remember. And 3 are spilt and 2 are full. So it's like you're starting to come out of a Tower moment. You're starting to realize maybe you do have those 2 full cups, but you're still under a heavy burden, more or less. So Knight of Rods, the Empress, and the 5 of Cups, why are you there as the subject at hand for Aquarius? And you don't want to fight anymore with the 5 of Swords in reverse. That's good. You're done. You're done with something. Or something, you know, for a few of you, someone may be done with you. But it's going to be different for everybody. But the Queen of Pentacles is what crowns you, or what you're heading for, your goal. So the Queen of Pentacles, I said before, could be a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. Or, you know, like I said, someone just steady, you know, someone stable. So Queen of Pentacles as the goal, what crowns Aquarius, why are you there? This is something keeps on trying to get out. I'm going to let it next time. Why are you there? Queen of Pentacles. Someone from the past, possibly. Okay? That's the 6 of Cups. That's nostalgia, thinking of someone from the past. Sometimes it is someone from the past, literally coming back. But it could be that you're going back to the past. So Queen of Pentacles, 6 of Cups as the goal, why are you there? Or what crowns you? Queen of Swords, that could be you with the Queen of Swords. I mean, as the Queen of Swords, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. And I think someone from the past is heading towards you, because there they are and they're looking towards you. They're from the past and there you are, they're looking at you. Interesting. So maybe it's what crowns you. You know, the energy that's going to be, you know, developing, or what the universe has planned for you in some way. But foundation, let's get to the foundation right here. This is the 10 of Wands. This is someone feeling a heavy burden, carrying a heavy burden. 10 of Wands, why are you there for Aquarius as the foundation? The Magician, you're going to try to manifest something through heavy work or through carrying a burden. It's going to be taxing to you for some reason. So 10 of Wands and the Magician, both in the upright. Why are you there for Aquarius? 9 of Wands, contemplating what to do next. Well, that's interesting. So you're going to be doing something else and you got other goals. But you had a Tower moment in the past, so let's look at that. The Tower moment in the past, why are you there for Aquarius? Yeah, someone abandoned you, maybe you left out in the cold, maybe you lost some finances, or lost, you know, something that was dear to you that you just weren't expecting. So the Tower, the 5 of Pentacles, both in the upright, why are you there in the past for Aquarius? This is getting interesting. Heartache. And it broke your heart. It caused sorrow with the 3 of Swords. And it could be anything. Like I said, it had to do with finances, relationships. Maybe it was somebody else. Maybe you lost a job. Maybe you lost a home. But in the near future, you're going to cut off communications, possibly. Or someone's going to cut off communications with you. But this is an Aquarius reading. But 8 of Wands in reverse. Why are you there in the very near future for Aquarius? Because it was a hopeless situation with the Star card in reverse. You're cutting off communications because something was hopeless. Eight of Wands, the Star card, both in reverse. Why are you there in the near future for Aquarius? Because there was injustice done. Wow. You got that twice, so, and you're fearing the injustice too. Now, advice from the universe, or the possible future outcome. I'm thinking it's advice from the universe because of what your, outcome card is. But the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, why are you there for Aquarius? Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, put away things that aren't working and stop mulling over it. Don't work towards things that are not going to bring you fortune, good fortune. Go towards good fortune instead of going backwards to finances or thinking about the things that ended. It's saying looking for your good fortune. That also could be that, but I'm thinking it's the universe just telling you put a dead halt to things that no longer serve you and go for your Wheel of Fortune type situation. Wheel of Fortune is about going forward to more positive things in your life. So Knight of Pentacles in reverse, Wheel of Fortune in the upright. Why are you there for Aquarius as the advice card? Yeah, and no longer, how can I say this? This is the Four of Swords in reverse. It's saying don't take a break right now. Don't get depressed. Don't dwell away somewhere, thinking about things that didn't work out. Think about the things that can work out. Go for your fortune. Now what's coming towards you is the Page of Cups. It's a good card. Well, let's see what's attached to that card. Page of Cups in the upright. Why are you coming towards Aquarius? Or the outside environment. Why are you there? Ace of Cups in reverse. So I'm thinking you're going to hear something. A message is going to come to you. I don't think you're going to expect this. Or maybe you will. But someone may offer you something, but you're not sure whether you should accept it. Page of Cups in the upright. Ace of Cups in reverse. Why are you there? For Aquarius. You may not want to accept it because you may think it's a burden. Someone's going to offer you something. It's not too bad, but you may not want that. You may think it's a burden and you're fearing an injustice because that's in your hopes and fears. And I'm sure it's a fear. I don't think you're hoping for an injustice. So Justice in reverse. Why are you there for Aquarius in reverse? Because you're just wanting happiness. You don't want nobody to mess you over no more, but you are looking for happiness. So Justice in reverse, the Sun card in the upright. Why are you there for Aquarius? And taking more control. Some of you may be dealing with an Aries, but it's about taking control of your life and judging right when it comes to whether something is an injustice or, righteous. And you wouldn't be happy, and you're not going to deal with no injustices anymore. You're not wanting that, and you fear that in some way. And so you're going to take control of the situation and not let it back in. So in the end, you got the Nine of Pentacles, and it's a great card. It's a beautiful ending. So Nine of Pentacles in the upright. Why are you there for Aquarius? And I'll talk more about that in just a second. Ooh, I think you're going to get some money. I think finances are going to improve. You're going to become more independent and able to save more because you got the Nine of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles, both in the upright. Even though that may be a slow energy, it'll go, and there's nothing wrong with that. So Nine of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, both in the upright. Great cards. Why are you there for Aquarius? Let's see. And you got to probably keep to yourself a little bit and contemplate it a little bit more while you're doing this, gaining your stability and getting more money. Even though I think what crowns you is that Queen of Pentacles. That could be actually you taking on that energy too, but I think it's someone from the past may come back a little bit, or you're thinking about them. Let me get one more card for the Nine of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, and the Hermit in the upright for Aquarius as the final outcome of this energy. And you're putting something to rest that needs to be with the Death in reverse. Yeah, you're going to be doing other things. You're not going to be partying as much with the Three of Cups in reverse. You're not going to be going out and eating as much because you got the Hermit card and you got the Three of Cups in reverse. And it's not always a bad card to have in reverse. It just means you won't be celebrating as much out and hanging out. Even though you may want to, I think you're going to be very busy. You may keep to yourself a little bit more with the Hermit, and you're keeping your finances to yourself. You are gaining some more independence in finances, and you may become, like I said, a little isolated while you're doing it, or keeping your thoughts to yourself of what the outcome may be for you. And it could be because someone did you an injustice and you don't want to open up what you're doing. You're also not wanting to fight. I do think you're seeing your 2 full cups of the positivity. It's coming towards you. Something was no growth with a Knight of Rods, which something could have just, it could be an energy where you're just getting rid of short-temperedness or non-committal. Maybe you're going to go to something that's more committal that you're wanting, but you're going to keep to yourself. In the past, you did have a Tower moment. You lost out on something that caused you a lot of heartbreak. I'm not lying. I see that. But I do see you working this out and things getting better. And it says to you that not to basically keep to yourself too much, but I think you're going to anyway. But it also says don't let just think, you know, go for your Pentacles energy. Don't let it just, you know, falter all the time. But also could be put away negative things that no longer serve you. You know, don't fight for things that no longer serve you. But I do see you getting some gain. I do see you recovering. But I also see you keeping to yourself just a little bit more. So if you like this path, and it looks like a lot of you will already experience it, and you can't always change the past. You know, actually you can't change the past once it's past. But you can change how you react towards it. And even though you're carrying a burden, you can embrace this 9 of Pentacles. You can embrace the finances that are going to improve. But you may be able to change the Hermit if you want to. Even though it is a major arcana and a little difficult, go out to dinner. You know, turn that 3 of Cups around. Look, you got a happy home there too. But, you know, I understand you're wanting more, and you may want to be solitude or feel like you're solitude. But there's nothing wrong with turning that around. You know, going out and going for the things you want. So if you like this reading, please hit subscribe, like, and a notification bell. And I will be giving you another reading, and maybe it'll take off and, you know, trickle over to that. Or we may get a whole different energy. And I'll talk to you later, Aquarius. Bye.